This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 train. The next stop is
Wall Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Not Your Advisor with NYU Grad on Wednesday, August 7th. Godzilla lives. Godzilla has come back to Tokyo. Wow, what a session. So I am going to jump into Breath in a moment, but I think this evening is going to be all Godzilla and Japan themed because while I informed all of you listeners and Substack subscribers that I suspect that was not the end of Godzilla's attack while he rampaged around the world, and I did suspect a much more volatile few sessions after everyone was basically saying on Tuesday, oh, the worst is over and Godzilla is dead. Some fascinating things happening right now. I knew that the Bank of Japan was going to get slapped. I knew, because I've been informing you all how big the carry trade is for the yen. And for those that are listening to me for the first time, I'll kind of walk through this again. So imagine all of the central banks of the world that are important. The U.S. Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the ECB, and imagine Japan also being complicit, saying, yes, sir, anything you say, sir. For almost 2 decades, everyone has agreed to pummel the Japanese yen and the Japanese people with inflation. That makes it easy for Japanese manufacturers like Honda, Toyota, etc. to export their goods, because if their currency is lower than the US or the British pound, it's cheaper to buy that Honda Accord or that Toyota Camry. So without getting too technical, basically you short the yen, you borrow the yen, and since everyone is agreeing to pile on and short the yen falls. So you're getting free money because you're borrowing the yen, right? And you're converting that yen to US dollars or the British pound or euro. And these are not you and me. These are like the central banks and the JP Morgans of the world. They then after shorting the yen, they then buy NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, commercial buildings, all the things that elites do. It's free money. They're making a profit or the spread on the fall of the yen, and they're buying all these risk assets. So it's like a Ponzi, pretty much. And this is a $20 trillion mechanism. And because the Bank of Japan and Japan in general said, we're going to start defending our yen. We're going to raise 0.25%. It's nothing. 0.25% is nothing. And keep in mind, Japan owns all of their country stocks, all their ETFs, like they own all of it. Because if they don't buy it, there's no one left. So they're going through, hyperinflation, but they have manufacturing to help support this. So that's the backdrop, okay? So they're basically saying we're going to defend the yen, we're going to raise 0.25 point, and that caused all the chaos over the weekend into Monday. 0.25%. So that triggered margin calls. People got pissed. They called probably, I guarantee you, Jerome Powell had a conversation with Japan. And I'm going to read you something that just had me in chills, okay? This was, I'm quoting Bank of Japan Deputy Governor Shinichi Uchida. I believe that the bank needs to maintain monetary easing with the current policy interest rate for the time being. With developments in financial and capital markets at home and abroad being extremely volatile, in contrast to the process of policy interest rate hikes in Europe and the United States, Japan's economy is not in a situation where the bank may fall behind the curve if it does not raise the policy interest rate at a certain pace. Therefore, the bank will not raise its policy interest rate when financial and capital markets are unstable. This is literally hours after they said they were going to raise. So I think I'm going to basically talk about this because this is really important. And this is my opinion, and feel free to comment and go back and forth with me on this. But I believe Japan has been a conquered country since World War II. Now, let's rewind here. During that time, leading up to World War II, Japan were the aggressors. But the war culminated with the atomic bomb, and in August 6th and 9th of 1945, those are the dates that the U.S. Dropped 2 atomic bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Why am I going through this when I talk about in context of a conquered country? I don't know if you know this, but the whole history of the Godzilla fictional character actually started with a nuclear bomb and their society's fear of what the nuclear bomb means to them as a country. So it was originally based on I'm just going to read it to you, but it's based on nuclear tests and the radiation basically creating a giant lizard. And in Japanese, it's called Gojira. So this is just from Wikipedia. If you didn't know, this is a giant lizard with an inflamed skin and incandescent radioactive laser power, both gained through nuclear exposure. Armed with such dreadful powers, Godzilla emerges from the ocean, threatening Japanese citizens and destroying civilization. A hydrogen bomb test in Bikini Atoll in 1954, which contaminated the Japanese fishing boat Lucky Dragon 5, inspired the Japanese film production company Toho Co. Limited to create the first Gojira movie. So if you didn't know, that's the whole background of Godzilla. And I do believe the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs created a country in a situation where even after the war, Japan has been a conquered country and has been basically bullied through the financial markets by the other central banks. So just a bigger contextual view of what's going on with this yen carry trade. So let's take a quick look at the breadth numbers today, and I'll cover the macro as well. We had on the NYSE 152 new highs versus 279 new lows. 31% of stocks were advancing versus 66 declining. 68% of stocks were below their 50-day. 48% of stocks were below their 200-day. All indices closed near the lows of the session, which is never good. The Russell led the way to the downside. So let's take a quick trip down mega cap land. It was a mixed bag. All of the Mag 7 are below the 50-day moving average as of right now. Apple was up 1.25%. Amazon was up 0.5%. Microsoft was down 0.29%. Google was up 0.13%. Meta was down 1.05%. Nvidia down a whopping 5.12%. And Tesla down 4.43%. It was a mixed bag, but we closed off of the highs. And just like on Tuesday, the end of the session was a sell-off into the close. And I kept saying that, we're most likely going to see a rally overnight through futures, and then during the intraday, they sell. Because that's just what they do. While we sleep, they raise prices, and then everyone wakes up and is like, FOMO, I need to buy, the sell-off is over, buy the dip. And then people buy at the open, that's usually like the low of the day, and then we rally into lunch and the European close, and then 3 p.m. they sell. That's just how sell side works. What do you think? They're here to make you money? Come on. So let's keep peeling this onion. So the summary of the day. This is kind of like a quasi advertisement for going premium, but I was fairly active with the paying members today in the Substack private chat. In the morning, I had sent out this alert, and this I'm going to screenshot it so you can see it with your own eyes in the show notes. This was with paying subscribers that Apple backtesting the 50-day. This was in the morning above. Let me rewind. Apple is backtesting the 50-day above and the broken trend line that goes back to 2003, entering into meat of resistance. Watch the close. Will they sell it off again like yesterday, or will this bounce stick? And I kept going throughout the day, posting charts. I had a red horizontal of the open at 9:30, and the NQ lost it right after lunch. It bounced around, and Breath would have told you that this bounce was not going to hold. And sure enough, at 1:30 during the private chat, I said, show me your strength with the Fibonacci retracement levels from the session. And we never even got back to the 38.2 retracement line. And you saw the close. We closed at the lows and created new lows. So it was a horrible session. The complexion is they are selling into this as much as they can. Any rally is being sold versus the last 2 decades where every dip was being bought. So there's a change of complexion here. Let's go through what was strong and what was weak. I'm going to go through these rapid fire. These are all percentages. So on the upside in the green, Shopify after earnings up 17.8%. ACMR Research 16.3%. Let's see, UCO, which is oil, up 5%. Biddy, which is short Bitcoin, up 3.75%. SQQ, which is short the Qs, up 3.2%. Crude oil 3.01, MGM Reserves 2.9, Instacart 2.7, Datadog 2.4, DRV, which is short real estate, up 2.09, the 10-year Treasury yield up 2.06, Red Rock Resorts up 1.97, and the VIX up 1.77. But keep note, the VIX was down much more than up 1.7. It was red, and it closed near the highs. What was weak? Oh man, SMCI, they reported earnings, and they are down 20% today. That's going to hurt for semis. Lyft down 17%, IRN 14.6%, Airbnb down 13%, Hut down 9%, Riot down 9%, MicroStrategy down 8.9%, Marathon Digital 8.17%, Bitfarms 8%, Coinbase 7.8%, TerraWolf 7.7%, Carvana 7.4%, Dell 7.1%, Wayfair 7.1%, Rivian 6.8%, Reddit 6.7%, ARM 5.5%. I'm going to stop there. I'll include the rest in the show notes all the way down to 3%. And this is just my list. I like to keep these tickers because it gives me a broad swath of different industries. So for free members, continue to watch the Mag 7 and semiconductors and how they react to the moving averages. Also this complexion of rallying overnight, opening being the low tick, rallying past lunch, and then the sell-off in the afternoon. That's classic distribution. They pump and dump. That's why they call it pump and dump. Continue to watch economic data. I post all of this in the show notes. The true rate of unemployment is really north of 24%. It's not the BS, BLS 4% unemployment rate. That's just total BS. So hope you had a good day today and came out unscathed. I do want to remind you there is 4 days left for the 40% off. All you have to do is go to nyugrad.substack.com/turmoil, and you can get the 40% off premium content. Premium members, please stay on. I have about 25-ish charts to walk through today. That's my train.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.